A special welcome to everyone back to Pius, our first almost full week, our first week of school in the books. I'm excited for the events of all the school year, the many things that are happening. I'm excited that we've at least doubled the number of all school masses that we're having, since unfortunately we can't all fit in room 1103. So we've decided, I'm very happy that it's happened, that we'll have a few more all-school masses so that, the source and summit of our faith continues, right? That we continue to be able to have these masses until the new chapel is finished. I love the readings today, not just because I picked them out myself, but because they fit Pius X so well. He's a very humble man. Right? Reading his life, I mean, what happens, there's like no huge moment really that seems to stick out. It's just he was a faithful, humble servant, right? God saw this, right? God who sees the heart, not the pomp, not the outside, not the things that we find important, right? He saw to the heart of this man who's born in a poor village in Italy, some backwater town. I sometimes joke, I'm from Falls City, Nebraska. It's a small town as well. So sometimes, these small backwater towns, right, like Falls City, that was Pope Pius. He was born small town, poor, nothing exciting about him, nothing, unique that would really set him apart in the eyes of the world. But in the eyes of God who sees into the heart, he saw something glorious, something marvelous. And so Pius, continued to be given more responsibility. Right? Just as we hear in the gospel today, Simon, do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Feed my lambs. Right? Tend my sheep, feed my sheep. Right? He's given more and more responsibility. And this is what happened with Pius. Right? Humble man who became a priest, became a pastor, and then he was asked to be a bishop, and then a patriarch, and then Pope Leo's right-hand man, and then Pope Leo's replacement, Pope Leo the 13th, not the 14th. And so he continued, right, to be given more and more responsibility because of his humble faithfulness, not because of his flashy vestments or, I don't even know what popes and bishops do to stand out. I guess they just preach well. But anyways, this is what Pope Pius did. Right? He just was a faithful, humble witness. Right? What task he was given, what mission he was entrusted with, the people that he was meant to serve, right? He served. And as we heard in the second reading, right? Not only did we share the gospel, but our very selves. And Pope Pius was a great witness of sharing his very self, right? Of always giving that what he had, right? He said, I wish to remain poor. I was born poor. I wish to remain poor. And so he gave of himself, right? A humble man, faithful man, who was continually entrusted with more because of his faithfulness, right? Because of his steadfast work. So I think this is a great witness for all of us, right? For all of us here. Right? We don't have to be the standout. Right? God sees into the heart. Right? God sees what is kept in secret. Right? God sees who we truly are. So we don't have to put on these fronts, these different faces, right? These different masks to run around in. Right? Before God, he sees us for who we are. To reflect on that then, who am I? What is my identity? Right? How does God see me? Whenever someone asks me who I am, if I try to introduce myself, oftentimes I'll say I'm from Falls City, it's a small town. I want people to know, I'm cool because I'm from a small town, I worked hard, But I also mention that my mom is Lori, my dad is Phil. Right? I have 8 brothers and sisters. right? Michael, Carolyn, Robert, that's me, so I'm not a sibling of myself. Mary, Amy, Thomas, Josh, Anthony, Patrick. We define ourselves by the relationships, by the people that we know, by those who we love. What's really neat is the readings, the gospel today. If it was just the normal day, if we weren't celebrating Pius, we would have had the gospel where the scribe asks Jesus, "What is the greatest commandment?" And Jesus responds, "Well, you know them. The first is to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it, to love your neighbor as yourself." So we define ourselves by relationships, by those who we love, and God says that is the most important. And so then the most important, right, is that relationship with God. So the most important relationship, how we are most definitely defined, is by that relationship with God. And God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son, not to condemn, but that the world might be saved through him. Right? God loves us. Right? God sees us as something lovable. Right? Sees us as sons and daughters, his sons and daughters. And so what he does is he gives us his most precious gift. Right? His only begotten Son, his beloved. Right? His most precious possession, right, is his child. Right? Jesus, the Word. Right? The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Right? The role, the mission of Jesus was to reveal the Father's heart, reveal the Father's love. Right? It was to reveal that relationship that we have with him. Right? That identity that we have is that we're beloved sons and daughters of God. Right? That God loves us, God loves me. Right? God loves Robert Froeschl from Falls City, son of Phil and Lori Froeschl, right? Brother of Michael, Carolyn, Mary, Amy, Thomas, Josh, Anthony, Patrick. Right? God loves me. That's all I really need. And that is the secret, right? That is what God sees, right, in the secret of our hearts. Right? When he looks into, our deepest recesses of who we are, right, he sees someone lovable, right? Someone worth dying for. So it's beautiful that we get to celebrate this in this school at this time. Right? We get to celebrate as sons and daughters of God that he loves us, that he loves me and you. Right? And we hear this. Right? We're very needy. Right? I need constant affirmation. Right? I need someone to say, "Father, you did a great job. Father, you're awesome." I need, not because of because of my ego. It's inflated crazily. But I want to know that I'm loved. I want to know that I'm seen. Right? That people see me. Right? This is a desire not just of my heart, but everybody's. Right? We want to be known and loved. So God gives us the sacraments. Right? He gives us his body and blood today. Right? He gives us these concrete examples, these things that we can touch and feel and taste and see and hear, so that we can know that God loves us, so that we can be reaffirmed that we are sons and daughters of God, so that we know that we belong to him, right? That we have a place with him. And so he tells us that each and every day as we come to the Eucharist. Right? He draws all of us to the table. Right? He calls us all to dinner, right? To share that meal with him, right? To sit down with the family, right? To experience that love that he has for us. And so he provides us with these good things, these graces, these sacraments, which are the concrete signs of his love. And so as we come to the Eucharist today, right, we hear that invitation. We hear the invitation to come to the heavenly banquet, to come to the altar of God, to come and receive these good gifts from him. And so we come with the example of St. Pius in humility, right, in faithfulness, right, as we respond, "Lord, I'm not worthy to have you enter under my roof, but only say the word, and my soul shall be healed. Right? So we come with that example that Pius brings us of this humility, and we'll see what happens from there. Right? Perhaps God will continue to entrust us with more and more because we are able to receive these gifts, right? Because we're able to receive these loves, his love, and then we're able to act on it. So this year, I hope that we can use Pius's example of that humble faithfulness, and that we too can receive with open arms the many gifts and blessings that God desires to give to us.